and welcome to my channel. For you who have grown up with a narcissistic mother and are now an adult struggling with the effects of this on your life. And when you've had a narcissistic mother, it's a real difficult situation to be in, which I'm sure you know all about. And the problem is that there are a lot of misconceptions about yourself, a lot of false beliefs around yourself, a lot of struggles that you end up with because of this situation. So, but a lot of people think that there's something wrong with them, that they are defective in some way or another. And in this video, I definitely want to try to help you to correct some of that. So I'm going to share with you 8 things that were not your fault, 8 struggles that you may have today. And so my name is Reframe, and I'm a registered counselor. I work in my therapy practice one-on-one with people. I work worldwide with people, and I'm developing online programs and courses. And please let me know if you're interested. Please subscribe, comment or like as well, because that is just really helpful for me too. So, and that helps me see you again and help you more if this really resonates with you. So let's get to it. So before we get to the 8 struggles and things that aren't your fault, that you might wrongfully be experiencing right now and thinking it is your fault, I just want to tell you that I have a video created which is a precursor to this video, so that might be helpful to see first. And I'll put a link to that video in the description of this video. So that video then will tell you how you actually ingested the toxins and how you ended up taking this upon yourself, and without actually having any choice or awareness of it. So that is like a basis to what I'm talking about, because now I'm talking in this video about many of the different kind of ways that you might have that this toxin actually has an effect on you. So let's get to it. So the first thing I want to say is that it's not your fault that you carry shame around yourself today, that you easily feel ashamed about yourself, that you shrink, feel small, that you feel like unsafe, triggered easily on this. Because with a narcissistic mother, there might have been a lot of situations where she treated you very emotionally insensitively and put you in a lot of difficult situations where you felt real shame about yourself. And when you've had that growing up, and in addition there's been a lack of support from anybody, you've been left to your own with this, then that perpetuates that trauma, and you never really got help from a sensitive adult who really could help you process it and feel better about yourself and let it go. So instead of that, this is all potentially that you carry a lot of these shaming experiences with you, and it can be triggered today, and then you feel ashamed about yourself. This is not your fault. So the second point is that it's not your fault that you don't feel good enough. And this is like this is also part of that sort of shame around the self, not feeling good enough. You may have been treated that you were difficult, that you were doing something wrong, that quite often that you were doing things wrong, or maybe that you were wrong. And so there might have been a lot of episodes, memories, things that happened to you. And the problem with that is that our brain tends, and protective systems, our survival systems tends to really go out to protect you from this. So it will tend to generalize from certain episodes. And instead of it being just relating with your mother, it becomes something that that you didn't feel good enough with your mother, it becomes something that you in general start to feel around other people, a feeling of not being good enough. But by doing what we're doing now, we are actually in the process of trying to reverse this, trying to put the pieces right and seeing where did your sense of not being good enough originate, and did it in fact originate with your narcissistic mother. So that both directions of this process is possible, and but it isn't your fault that you don't feel good enough about yourself. It's a normal response to being brought up by a narcissistic mother. It isn't your fault that you felt different, because there's a lot of us who feel like different. I'm like this. This isn't normal. All kind of negative feelings about ourselves. And the thing is, kids do have these experiences of themselves sometimes growing up, but the difference is that if you have a sensitive parent who will help you, who is interested in what's going on in your internal world, on your inside, then they will pay attention to it and see when you're looking as if things are going on for you that aren't so good, and they will try to ask you and be interested in it and help you to tell it. If you have a safe person, you can tell it. If you have a safe parent, you can tell it, and you can be helped with it so that you don't feel so different. But in the situation with a narcissistic mother, she's actually interested in you having these negative feelings about yourself, because she wants to have control over you and manipulate you. So the fourth point is that it's not your fault that you hold yourself back and go quiet with others. When you've had a lot of difficult interactions with your mother, when you've maybe begun to feel that this is about me not being good enough, it's about me being wrong, there's something wrong with me. When you have all these things, then it becomes really hard to be around other people. And maybe you've been criticized a lot, you're ridiculed for your opinions. You've had a lot of these type of poisonous interactions, so it's very self-protective to to withdraw and hold yourself more back and go quiet with others. But it is a survival pattern, and when you go out into your life later on, it's not necessarily something that's helpful to you. It can be an automatic response based on these earlier traumas, and it's causing you a lot of it's not helping you create really good relationships with other people as an adult, and it's hard for them to get to know you then if you hold yourself back and so on. It's not your fault. Point 5, it's not your fault if you were bullied, because we think about a lot of things like, was there something with me? Was there something I did? Is there something wrong with me? But the thing is, this dynamic may have started with your mother. A narcissistic mother can be a bully. And if you are bullied in your home from when you are really young, then you are modeled, shaped into the dynamic of being a victim in relationship with her. And naturally, we take with us the experiences that we have, even if we're not aware of it, even if it's hard to pinpoint. Bullies can smell someone who has a certain response based on previous experiences. So because you have a kind of experience that you carry with you, and so this can set you up for repeated bullying later on. I actually have a video about this, when your mother was your first bully, so that might be of interest if this resonates with you. But it's not your fault. You may have been bullied by your mother at home first. Point 6, It's not your fault that you isolate or withdraw from other people, because it's so hard to be around others. You haven't had the chance to feel secure enough to explore and learn about asserting yourself, setting boundaries, being respected, all those healthy things in relationships that could uplift you, that could make you feel secure. Maybe you haven't even had the chance to learn this because you've been growing up with a narcissistic mother who is an aggressor and controls the whole family. So in the end, relationships, the experiences we've had can be triggered in relationships, and the relationships here and now can be difficult. So it's no wonder that you feel safer if you withdraw from others. But the thing is, there's such a big cost to it, it is possible to learn this later on as well, and to change the pattern. Number 7, it's not your fault if you don't know your own authentic truth, if you don't express your truth, because your relationship to your authentic self is meant to be supported from when you are little in your primary relationships, where you feel secure enough and you know that there's always someone there for you in case you need them. So then you're free to explore. You're free to explore, taste the world, find out what you like, and so on. You've carried insecurity. You've never been safe like this. So you've had to adapt to her, to try to survive, and this is not the same thing as forming an adaptation to be safe. It doesn't give you the opportunity then to really connect deeply with who you are. That side of you you may have had to abandon that side of you, who you really are. You may have never really got to develop that relationship. So, and then of course, when you're an adult, you may not know how you really truly feel about different aspects of your life. But you can connect to yourself. It's not too late. You can find your own truth. You can develop this. It's not your fault. The last point, number 8, it's not your fault if you've struggled a lot with jealousy. When you have been so emotionally hurt and neglected and abandoned and wounded, you carry a lot of emotional wounds, and it may have started with her setting up wedges between siblings and maybe golden children who were couldn't do anything wrong and who got everything they wanted. And on the other side, there's you who had a very different experience and always hungering and desperate to be seen and get some emotional support. So this sets up this dynamic of the feelings of feeling jealous and so on. And of course, emotional wounds like this can also play out in later relationships. There can be a background to, if you struggle with jealousy, there can be a background story which you may want to piece the pieces together for this, so that you are not just acting out on it and not understanding what's really happening here. So this is what I wanted to share with you today, and I hope it's been helpful, and I hope to see you again. So please subscribe if you would like that, or comment or like, and see you again hopefully. Have a nice day.